Hello, session 21. We didn't think we were going to get this far. And it increasingly looks like we're going to have to continue with this for a while longer. And I appreciate that it's really hard to keep doing this without the motivation and the discipline of going to a class every week. So well done for sticking with it. Well, here we go, number 21. Always the posture check, back of the head, shoulder blades, buttocks and heels up against that imaginary wall. Open the chest, sliding fingertips down, seam off trouser leg. Tailbone pointing down, pressing tummy button to the backbone, pulling up into the rib cage to feel your pelvic floor pull up. Open up the hips, which will allow the knees to roll out, the arch of the foot to be encouraged. And then spreading out the toes. Then you've got the weight even between the little toe, the big toe and the heels. And of course, concentrating on the breathing, full and wide into the rib cage, so you don't interfere with you pull up and pull in. And then from there, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, just float the arms up to shoulder height, and breathing in to push down. Lifting the arms up, try not to allow the weight to alter between the balls of the feet and the heels, keeping that exactly the same. Start to warm up the shoulders, but switching on the core to keep you stable. And then holding that there, and then just make a fist and extend the fingers, just getting some flexibility into your fingers, stretching out and then making a fist, and then stretching out and then point the fingers up, point the fingers down, holding with the shoulders and getting flexibility into the wrists, and then hold, make a fist, and fist goes down, fist goes up. Then from there, just hold and then circle those fists around. Still holding the arms up, upper arm working a little bit. Change direction, make that circle go the other way. Allow your breathing to flow. And then stretching the fingers out and then circle with the fingers stretched out. Keeping the shoulders down, make sure the shoulders don't creep up around the ears, keep the length through the neck. Changing direction, keep that peach underneath the chin, between the chin and the chest. Circling, circling, and then hold the palms up. Keep the elbows high and just tap the shoulders and extend. Now you're warming up your elbows, still holding those arms up, biceps and triceps working. Try to keep the elbows up high level with the shoulders. Maybe exhale out, inhale back, and then from there just bring the fingertips onto the shoulders and then circle the arms around. Opening the chest, warming up those shoulders. But of course, still switching on those tummy muscles to stop you rocking forward or back. Circling, circling those arms. And then we've completed that. Just bring the arms around by your side. Open the chest, bring the fingertips down, seam of the trouser leg. And turn the head and look over that right shoulder. Gently bring the head back to center and drop the chin all the way down into the chest. Stretch the neck and then lifting the head up. Keep the chin down over your peach and turn the head and look over that left shoulder. And then bring the head back to center. Do that little nod again just to get the length in the neck. Lifting the head up, keep that peach underneath the chin, turn the head to the right. So the torso doesn't move at all. Bringing it back to center, drop the chin. And lift, and then turning the head again. Bringing it back to center, and again just drop the chin. Lifting up one more time to either side, getting flexibility into the neck. Gently back to center. Nod, giving that peach a bit of a squeeze. Lifting the head. Turn the head again, looking over that left shoulder. Bring it gently back, and drop the chin. And then lifting up, keeping the hips pointing forward. Just lift the knee up, turn it out to the side, bring it back and put it down. Then the other heel you lift and turn out, bring it back and put it down. Keeping the torso as stable as you can. So those head lamps on the hip bones point forward, head lamps on the chest pointing forward. So just lift, turn, and forward and down. And then maybe adding some arms into that. Just lift, open, turn and down. So warming up the hips and switching on those core muscles to keep those headlamps pointing forward. Maybe exhale up, inhale out, exhale back and inhale down. Lift and open and gently back and down. So trying to keep that torso as stable as you can while you do this. Opening the chest, feeling those shoulder blades squeeze together. And then changing. Seeing if you can now lift the right knee up with the hand on the knee. Turn the knee out, bring it back and put it down. And then the left knee lift up and turn out, bring it back and put it down. So more challenging for the core to balance. And of course you could just lift the heel, turn the knee out, bring it back and put it down if you want to. If you can, you lift up, turn out, bring it back, put it down. And let's just see if we can add a little bit more challenge onto that. Lifting up and lifting the arm up towards the ceiling, that left arm. Turn the knee out, take the left arm out to the side, bring it back and put it down. And then of course you'd swap to the other side. Just lift, arm goes up, knee goes out, the arm goes out. Balancing, and then bring it back and put it down. But of course you could just lift the heel, turn the knee out, take the arm out to the side, bring it back and put it down. So you decide which level you want to go for here. Reaching out to the side, foot on or off the floor. Then one more little add-on if you can. Lifting up, lift the arm up, turn the leg, stretch out with the arm and turn. Oh, there's a wobbling going on here. And then bring it back and put it down. Maybe the other side will be better, let's hope so. Just lift up, reach up, turn out knee, reach up with the arm, turn the head. Yep, that's always my better side. Bring it back and put it down. But remember, you can just lift the heel, turn the knee out, turn the arm out, still look along the arm, you're still challenging your balance. Bring it back and down. So getting flexibility into the hip, load bearing for that standing leg, flexibility into your shoulder and your neck. Nice and smooth. Try to keep that torso as stable as you can while you do this. Turn out, if you can, you turn your head, you bring it back and you put it down. Maybe one more time, or you can do more if you feel you would like to. Challenging the balance, turn out, take the arm out, hold it there, doesn't matter if it's wobbling, and then bring it back and put it down. And then take a big step back with the right foot. Shuffle that foot back a little bit, and then bend both the knees and push up tall. Keeping the chest lifted, try not to lean forward at all. Remember, headlamps on the hip bones point forward, headlamps on the chest point forward. Try and keep the weight even between those 2 feet. So you're not bringing your weight forward while you do this. It's straight down, straight up. Keeping that chest up and looking forward. If that's too much, just bring the feet together and do a little narrow squat with the legs together instead. That bothers the knees. And then see if you can, hold that down, keep the chest lifted, glue the thumbs into the chest, look over the fingertips and twist. Nothing moving from the waist down. Bring it back to center. See if you can hold that there and repeat. Now if it's too much, bring the feet together, stand up tall, keep the hips pointing forward, the knees pointing forward, and just do the twisty bit. Now was that about 5, do you think? Or maybe one more. Just a little twist and back to center. And then of course changing legs. Big step back, shuffle. Remember, you can always just stay with the knees together if that's easier on the knees, and just do a small squat. If you can, wide legs, maybe take the legs a little bit wider even to help with the balance, and then just take it down and push up. Make sure that front knee doesn't go any further forward than the toes. Keeping that chest lifted, try not to lean forward. You want the weight even between the front foot and the back foot. You're going straight down, straight up. Think about your back sliding up and down a wall. So you keep the back of the head, the shoulder blades, and the buttocks in contact with that wall. So try not to lean forward. And then see if you can hold it down, bring the hands into prayer, and then you would twist over that bent leg. Exhale to twist, inhale to bring it back. And try and hold that position as you exhale and bring it back. But remember, you can stand up tall if the knees start to shout at you. And just do the twist from the standing position, but keep hips and knees pointing forward. I think I might have done 6 now. So if you just want to push up nice and tall, and back of the head, shoulder blades, buttocks and heels up against that imaginary wall again. And focus on your posture for a moment. Then just lift the right heel off the floor, and if you can, lift the knee right up into the chest. Hold that there and point and flex the foot. If that's too much, you just leave the foot on the floor and heel and toe instead. And then hold and circle. Try to bring the knee towards the chest rather than the chest towards the knee. Circle it the other way, getting lots of flexibility into the ankle, but you can just still do the heel and toe if it's too much for balance. And then when you're ready, just change to the other side. Remember, you can do your heel and toe if you want to. Otherwise, you bring the knee right up into the chest without leaning forward, and then point and flex the foot. Just getting some flexibility into that ankle. And then do some circling. Hopefully no creaks and crunches going on in that ankle. Circling first one way, then the other way, but still keeping that back up tall. Getting some stretch for your buttock as well. And then just replace the foot to the floor. And then bring your mat into play now. And going to the front of your mat, back of the head, shoulder blades, buttocks and heels up against that imaginary wall, of course. Relaxing the knees, drop the chin and do a lovely roll down towards the toes. Drop the head and hold. Then nodding the head. Then just shake, 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 shake the head. Then keeping those knees relaxed, cross the arms at the elbows or the forearms. And keeping everything still from the waist down, just swing your upper body from side to side. Try not to just move the arms. You're swinging from the waist. You get a really good stretch in that lower back. Keep the head down. And then again, drop the arms and slowly come up. Keep the arms close into the legs, bringing the head up last. Shoulders back and down. Going again. Drop the chin, relax the knees, and just gently, gently head down towards the toes. Hold it there, keep the head down, and then do your nodding. Then a little shake of the head. And then crossing the arms again. Keeping the weight even between the feet, nothing moving below the waist. Do your swing, side to side. Nice and easy. And then just drop the arms down again and slowly come up. Link by link, bone by bone. Then you go again. Drop the chin. Peel yourself off the wall like a piece of wet wallpaper. Drop it down. You may be going that little bit further if you can. Get more stretch. Nodding, nodding. Release the tension. Upper back, neck and shoulders. Shake, 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 shake the head. And cross the arms again. And do your swing. Side to side. Trying to keep the hips absolutely stable while you do that. And the weight even between the feet. And then once again drop the arms and slowly come up. All the way up against your imaginary wall again. Hold that there. And then take the left foot behind you. Back of the heel off the floor. Now if you can, lift that right heel off the floor. And then keeping your back up nice and straight, slide down that wall. And with your fingertips onto the floor, slide that right foot out in front of you. Hands behind and pop your bottom onto the floor. If that's too much for the knees, of course, you could go to the back of your mat, do the roll down, walk out onto the hands and knees, and then come into a sitting position. And then from here, just make sure you've got enough mat to roll down on. Maybe hold on behind one thigh, tilt the pelvis, create a C shape, and then link by link, bone by bone, roll yourself onto the floor. If that's no good, you can always put your hands behind you and roll down, using your hands and your arms to support, or you could roll over onto your side and then roll over onto your back. And then once you're down on your back, take a moment to set that up. Stretching fingertips towards the toes, bring the chin down over the peach. And a little grape in the small of your back. Trade marbles, of course, balanced across the pelvis, and orange width between the knees. So bracing the tummy, just lift the right knee up into tabletop position, knee over the sit bone, chin parallel to the floor. Keeping your chin down, your neck relaxed, just hover the arms off the floor. And then 5 little pulses on an in-breath with the arms, 5 little pulses on the out-breath, while everything else stays absolutely stable. Now this is the 100, and if you don't like this, it's not my fault, it was requested. So, if you want to work harder, press your back into the mat, lift the other leg up into tabletop position. Then relax your back, put your grape underneath, and keep going with the pulsing. 5 little pulses on the in-breath, 5 little pulses on the out-breath. That's too much, of course, you just put one foot onto the floor. Now to work harder with this one, you would inhale and pulse for 5, and then exhale, extend one leg. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, extend the other leg. Inhale, bring it back. Now the lower you take that leg, the harder that is going to be to keep your back resting on your grape. So you decide how low you take the leg, or maybe you just keep it in tabletop. Maybe you keep one foot on the floor, but make sure your back stays on that grape. Now to work even harder, of course, it would be both legs together. Exhale out and inhale back with the pulsing. So exhale out for 5, inhale back for 5. And the lower you take those legs, the harder it will be. Now I'm not going to take mine any lower than that, otherwise my back will arch. So you decide which level you're going for, and then just hug the knees into the chest when you've done enough. You can always carry on if you want to, and then have a little rock side to side. Just ease out that lower back. And then putting hands on tops of the knees, circle the knees around in a big circle. Again, releasing the back. First one way, and then the other way. Nice big circle. And then coming back to start position. Checking your position always. And then again, lift one knee up into tabletop. If you want to, you can press your back into the mat, lift the other leg up into tabletop. But this time we're going to add the upper body, rectus abdominis, into this, as well as the transversus. So breathing in to nod, breathing out to curl forward. Hold that there. Now go with your pulsing. That's too much, of course. 1 foot on the floor. Don't forget to breathe. Try not to hold your breath. Remember, you can support the head with one hand, but make sure you don't pull on the head. Just support the head and the neck while you do your pulsing with the other arm. And of course you can add in this position, the leg extension if you want to. Remember, it's exhale out for the pulsing of 5 and inhale back for the pulsing of 5. But you can have 1 foot on the floor, you can leave the head and shoulders on the floor, and just work with the transversus muscle rather than your six-pack muscle as well. And of course you could extend both legs, exhale out and inhale back, but making sure that back stays right down onto the floor. Keep the head and shoulders curled up, supporting the head, of course, if you need to. Alternate legs, both legs, or you can have one foot on the floor. And you can always leave the head and shoulders down. And then when you've done enough of that one, just relax back down, one foot down, other foot down, let the head roll from side to side and ease out the tension in the neck. And then stretching the legs out, bring the head back into alignment, take the arms over the top of your head and give yourself a big stretch through from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes. Lengthen and stretch. Then when you've had a lovely stretch there, gently please roll over onto your right side and take a moment to set that one up. So having the fingertips, back of the head, shoulder blades, buttocks and heels up against that imaginary wall, and then just bend that top knee forward onto the floor in front of you. Just let it rest and relax. Keep that bottom leg as straight as you can, and then just lift and lower that bottom leg. Exhale to lift and inhale to lower. Isolate that inner thigh. Try to keep your waist lifted a little bit off that hot stone. It doesn't really matter too much where you put that top hand because you've got the knee in front of you. You don't have to worry about balance. So just put that hand where it's comfortable. You might want to take it behind to open the chest and pull the shoulder back and down. Just go with the lift and lower of that bottom leg. Try not to put it all the way back onto the floor. Keep that inner thigh working throughout by holding the leg just slightly off the floor. Exhale to lift and inhale to lower. Keeping your torso as stable as you can while you do that, and your waist lifted a little bit. Head and neck relaxed. And then relax there and bend that bottom knee and put the top leg on top of it so that you've got your knees at a 90-degree angle and your hips at a 90-degree angle, so the shins are parallel to the edge of the mat. And extending that top leg, flex the foot, push the heel away from you and lift and lower that top leg. You're not lifting it high, just maybe about hip height, but keep the thigh on top of the thigh, the knee on top of the knee. So you're not taking it away from the thigh, you're keeping it directly above that bottom thigh and knee. Exhale, lift, inhale to lower. So you can feel that outside hip and thigh work. Push the heel away from you, get a stretch through your buttock and your calf and your hamstring. And then hold it up and then bend the knee a little bit and straighten the leg. Just bend the knee and straighten the leg so that it's back over the top of that bottom leg. So it just stays over that bottom leg. Just bend the knee and extend. Bend and extend. So you bring the knee a little bit in towards the chest and then push away. And then hold and now circle. Maybe one circle on an in-breath, one circle on an out-breath. Just extending the leg. Keep it straight, hold it at the top, and then make it go the other way. Now you should be feeling that outside hip and thigh work now. Just do as big a circle as you can, without, of course, the pelvis moving. And then just hold that there, and then bend the knee, and put it back down on top of the other leg. Give the outside of the hip a little rub and a smack. Remember, if you haven't got to fatigue in that muscle, of course you can always repeat that. You can do those exercises again. And then stretching the legs out when you've got rid of that burn, and roll gently over, please, onto your front. Lengthening through the legs, tummy button pulled up, up, up off that hot stone. Cup of tea on the back of your pelvis, and then just lengthen through that right arm, but keep the shoulder down. Leave the left hand underneath the forehead. And then keeping the peach underneath the chin, plank of wood on the back of your head. Take a breath in,
as you breathe out, just lift the head, the shoulders off the chest. Keep the eyes focused on the back of the hand and breathe in to go down. Do exhale to lift and inhale to lower. You're lifting your shoulders, stabilizing with the arms. So keep the eyes focused down so there's no strain on the neck. It's all about your back, lifting the head, the shoulders and the chest. And see if you can add in the left leg. So you're lifting that left leg up and inhale down. Sliding those shoulder blades down your back. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, lengthening through the leg. Just exhale up, inhale, lower. And then when you're ready, just swap to the other side. Extending the arm and both the legs. So just lift and lower. Get the upper body going first. And then when you're ready, you add in that right leg. Lift and lower. Lengthening through the leg. Keep the peach underneath the chin. No strain on the neck at all. Try and keep lengthening through the leg so that buttock works. Core muscles working to keep you stable. Lengthening from the top of your head all the way down. And then just hold and change it over again. So you're lifting head, shoulders and left leg. Now see if you can lift that right arm. Exhale up, inhale down. Try not to engage the neck. Keep that cup of tea still on the back of your pelvis. And if it's too much, of course, you can leave the arm on the floor and just lift the head and the shoulders and the chest and the leg. Or you could lift the upper body first and then the leg separately if you need to. So just lift and lower. And when you're ready, swap to the other side again. If you can, lifting head and shoulders and left arm and right leg. Lengthen, lengthen from fingertips to toes. If it's too much, of course, you can do upper body first, legs separately. You can leave that left arm on the floor. And then again, when you're ready, going to swap it over. This time, keep lengthening through those legs. See if you can lift both arms and your left leg. A little bit more challenging. So if you need to, you leave that right arm on the floor or even the left arm on the floor. Or upper body first and leg separately. And when you're ready, swap to the other side. I'm sure you're doing better at counting than me. So you're doing a lift and lower. Breathe out, breathe in. Smooth and with control. Keep the eyes focused down. Shoulders level. Cup of tea on the back of the pelvis. Try not to bend the knee. And then when you think you've done approximately equal numbers, just come up onto the hands and knees. Arch the back, drop the head, tuck the pelvis under, and give yourself a good back stretch. You might want to come up onto your knuckles, if that works better. Tuck the pelvis under and look down. Keep that tummy button pulled up and in. Open up the vertebrae, give it a good stretch. And then sitting back onto the heels, reaching the arms out if that's comfortable, or you could have the arms behind your palms up. Or of course you can always sit on your bottom, swing your legs round in front of you. Reach over the beach ball for your toes, or you can sit and hug the knees into the chest. If you're sinking back onto the heels, you might want to open those knees a little bit. Get those hips back further. But breathing full and wide into the ribs, of course. Get a good stretch in the lower back and the buttocks that you've worked. And we've got one more little add-on, which will add in a bit of waist. So what you can do is go back into that start position, left hand underneath the forehead, right arm extended, legs long, and then see if you can lift the upper body and right arm, left leg, and then bend to that left side. So you do exhale up, inhale, hold, exhale, bend, inhale, bring it back, and gently down. Try and keep that right arm by the ear, lift, take the arm with it, release and down. Maybe two more, just lift and bend, release and down. Try to keep everything below the waist still, apart from the leg lift, arm by the ear, ear by the arm, and gently down. And then of course you would swap to the other side. Lengthen through, and then just lift and bend, back and down. Now you could leave that left arm on the floor while you bend to the right. That would give you a little bit of push. But if you can, try and lift both the arms, bend, arm by the ear, ear by the arm, and down. If not, just leave that one arm on the floor. Twist and down. One more time. Lift, bend, center, down. And then again, you'll need to stretch. Come up onto the hands and knees. Arch the back, drop the head, pull that tummy button up and in, and stretch. But of course, remember, you can always do more of those if you feel I didn't do enough for you. Arch the back, tuck the pelvis under, and then sit back onto the heels if you can. Reach the arms out in front of you. Get a good stretch through the lower back and the buttocks. Hold and breathe. And then walk the hands around to your left side. And just stretch. Hold and stretch. Now if that's not comfortable, if you're sitting on your bottom, you sit up nice and tall and then walk the hands around to that left side, keeping the buttocks down and stretch. If you're sinking back onto the heels, then you could put your right hand on top of your left hand just to get a bit more stretch down that right side. And then when you're ready, swap and walk it around to the other side. So again, if you're sinking back onto the heels, head down, walk around, keep the hips right down, and then maybe put that left hand on top of the right hand. Get more stretch down the right side. Of course, you can do sitting if that's better for the knees. And then just walk it back to center. And then from there, in the best way you know how, coming onto your left side. And take a moment to set that up. Take the arm back a little bit. And you've got a nice straight line from the fingertips, back of the head, shoulder blades, buttocks and heel. And remember that you can put a cushion underneath your ear, and you can put maybe two cushions underneath your head and bring the arm forward if that's more comfortable for the shoulder. And then if you just want to bend that top knee forward onto the floor in front of you and extend that bottom leg so it's nice and straight and in line. Waist lifted a little bit, gap between the waist and the floor. Flexing that bottom foot and then just lift and lower. Exhale to lift and inhale to lower. Lengthening through that bottom leg, isolating the inner thigh, keeping the cup of tea on the outside of your hip. And you could put that top hand behind you to open the chest and pull the shoulder back and down, if that works better. But you don't need to worry about the balance here. Try and just isolate that bottom leg, working that inner thigh, pushing the heel away from you. We'll get some stretch through the hamstring and the calf, keeping the head down and the neck relaxed. And then when you think you've done enough of those,
then you would just relax that bottom leg and then bring both the legs forward, 90-degree angle at the hip and the knee. So the shin's parallel to the edge of the mat. And again, putting that top hand wherever you want it to be. You don't have to worry about balance because you've got your knees bent. And then still keeping that cup of tea still. Just extend that top leg, flex the foot, and then lift and lower. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Remembering to keep the thigh on top of the thigh, the knee on top of the knee, so you're not moving it away at all. You don't need to lift it high, just maybe hip height, so that outside hip and thigh works. And again, pushing the heel away from you to get a stretch through the back of the leg and the buttock actually here as well. And then maybe hold it up and then bend the knee a little bit into the chest and extend the leg. Maybe breathing in to pull in and breathing out to push out. So you're still holding it up about hip height, but taking it out just so that it is over the top of that other thigh. So you're not taking it away from that alignment. Exhale it out, inhale to bend. Just a little bend and extend. So you've got hip flexor, outside hip and thigh, of course, still working, and a little bit of hamstring and quadricep as well. And then hold it up, push the heel away, and then go with the circling. Maybe one circle on an in-breath, one circle on an out-breath. Pushing the heel away, just doing as big a circle as you can without moving that cup of tea on the outside of the hip. And then when you're ready, change direction and make it go the other way. Keeping the torso as stable as you can. Nice and smooth, flexibility for the hip. And maybe, I don't know, just as many as you can do. Maybe you can always stop, start again, and do the same little routine again if you feel you haven't got into that outside hip and thigh enough. And then when you've done enough, just relax and replace the leg down. You might need to give the outside of the hip a little rub and a smack just to get rid of the burn. And then just roll over onto your back, please. Bring the chin down over the peach, stretch fingertips towards your toes. Lengthen through the neck. And then just cross your right ankle over your left knee. So you're going to stretch the outside of the hip and thigh that you just worked. And maybe just take the arms out to the side, crucifix position. And then roll those legs over to the left side. See if you can get that right foot onto the floor. And then turn the head and look along your right arm. If that's too much, of course, you can leave the leg up. Maybe lift the heel off the floor just to get the leg in a little bit closer to get more stretch. But if you can, try and get the foot to the floor. And feel that outside hip and thigh stretch going on there. And around your middle and, of course, your neck. Then bringing the legs back up again. And then change to the other side. And then you can leave it there. You can lift the heel. You can lift the foot and bring the leg in. So whichever works better. And if you can, take that leg, or both of those legs rather, to the right side while you turn your head and look along that left arm. Keep the palms turned down to help to keep the shoulder blades glued down. So you can feel that stretch around the middle, down the side of your body, as well as that outside hip and thigh. Just hold and stretch. And then gently heaving those legs back up. You've worked your inner thighs as well. So bringing the soles of the feet together and let the knees flop apart. And relax into that stretch. Let the weight of the legs do the work. Sliding the heels maybe a little bit closer in. And let those legs go. Just relax. Inner thigh stretch, and of course still getting flexibility into your hips. Holding that there. Then if you just want to stretch the legs out, take the arms over the top of your head, give yourself a full body stretch, tips of fingers to tips of toes. Then see if you can breathe in, nod your head, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Breathing out, peel yourself off up to sitting. Remember, you can always hold on behind one thigh and use the weight of your leg to pull up, or you could put your hands behind you, press down, nod your head, and push up. You can always roll over onto the side and then push up to sitting. And From here, knees up, feet flat on the floor. Orange width between the knees, fingertips pointing towards your hips, shoulders back and down, chin down over the peach, keeping the length in the neck. So the fingers are just directly behind your hips. And then take a breath in and bend the elbows and breathing out to push up. So engaging the tummy to support your back, breathing in, bend the elbows, breathing out to push up, working into that tricep muscle. Literally bend the elbows straight back behind you. So not going out to the side, they're going straight back to the wall behind you. If that is not comfortable, you can clasp the hands, lift the arms up, drop the hands down behind the head with the elbows pointing up towards the ceiling and just drop and lift. If you don't want to have the arms over your head, elbows up high behind you, fingers pointing forward, and then fingers pointing back. Fingers pointing forward, fingers pointing back. Keeping the elbows up high. All of those would work the backs of the arms, but if you can, use your body weight. Breathing in, breathing out. And then if you wanted to, you could make that more challenging. You can bring your knees and your feet together. This would make your inner thighs work a little bit. And when you push up, buttocks clenching. And then bend the elbows and push up. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Try not to just drop your bottom up and down though. You're bending the elbows because that makes the backs of the arms work. Then if you wanted to, you could make that even more challenging. Extend one leg, bend and push. Put the foot down, go with the other leg, bend and push. But if that's too much, of course, you don't need to add that on. Really working into that tricep muscle, the bingo wing department. So you could do that without lifting. You can leave the bottom on the floor and just repeat that one. You do as many as you would like to or feel comfortable-ish with, and then relax. And then just coming into a sitting position, sitting up nice and tall, shoulders back and down, lift the right arm up. Drop the hand behind your head and ease the arm back. You should feel the back of the arm now that you've been working there. Give it a good push back, elbow pointing up. And changing, reach up, drop down, and give it a little push back. Keep the head up nice and tall, with the chin down over the peach. Keep the arm close into the ear. Easing it back at a good stretch. And relax, and then come onto the hands and knees. And do your angry pussycat stretch. Arch the back, drop the head, pull the tummy button up and in. And stretch from the back of your neck all the way down to your tail. Give that a really good stretch. And then give the buttocks another stretch. Sit back onto the heels. Let the forehead rest down. Or remember, you can take your arms behind your palms up. And you can also sit on your bottom, swing your legs round in front of you, reach over the beach ball for your toes, or sit and hug the knees into the chest, drop the head over the knees. Just reaching back, getting some stretch through those shoulders, or reaching forward, whichever works better. Get a good stretch in the lower back and the buttocks. Then scooting all the way out onto your front. Take the forehead down onto the back of one hand. Reach behind with the other hand for the foot on the same side. Bring the heel to the bottom, the knees are together, pressing the hip into the floor. Remember, you can lift the head and the shoulders if you want to increase the intensity of the stretch in the hip. Just whichever works best for you. Remember, you can get hold of the sock or the trouser leg, or you can even cross the other ankle over and just ease the leg in. And then changing legs, heel to bottom, knees together, press that hip down into the floor, lifting head and shoulders if you want to. Get a good stretch in the hip flexor and that quadricep muscle. And then replace the foot to the floor. Come up onto the hands and knees again. Then just walk the hands into the knees. Tuck the toes under. Hover the knees. Push the hips up into the air. With the head down, the knees slightly bent, walk the hands into the toes. Once you're nice and stable there, keep that tummy engaged and slowly come up. link by link, bone by bone, up against that imaginary wall. Shoulders back and down. And then we'll do the next stretch. Drop your right shoulder down to the right ear. Drop your right ear down to your right shoulder. Thought that didn't make any sense. And then slide that left hand down, seeing the trouser leg. Hold that there. Stretch your neck and shoulder. Turn the head and look down at that right shoulder, keeping the chest open. And then just gently and slowly turn the head and look up and behind into that left corner. Try not to move your torso at all. And then just gently drop the chin into the chest and do a lovely roll down. Just drop, drop, drop. Hold that there. Get a good stretch. Nodding, nodding the head. Shake, 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 shake the head. And crossing the arms. Keep everything still below the waist. And just do that little swing side to side. Remember, you're swinging from your waist, not from your shoulders. Keep the head down. And then just relax the arms and slowly come up. All the way up. Shoulders back and down. And then drop the left ear while the right hand slides down. Hold and stretch the neck. Turning the head, looking over that left shoulder. And then again, slowly turn the head, look up and behind to the right. Keep the chest open, shoulders back and down. And then just gently drop the chin all the way down into the chest. Like those shoulder blades down your back, shoulders away from the ears. Tailbone pointing down with your zip up and hollow. So that pelvic floor still lifts a little bit. And get a good stretch in the back of the neck. And then lifting the head up. And then release those shoulders forward, up and round and back and down. Just get those shoulders moving. Easing out the shoulders. And then opening the chest. Just lift the arms up, bend the knees, swing the arms, knees going straight forward over the toes. And just have a little loosen up. And just have a little swing. And then come back to your start position and give yourself a clap. Well done. That's number 21 done. And it looks like we're going to have to continue with this for a little while longer. So please try and keep with me. And as I say, keep bringing in the suggestions for bits of your body that might be missing out or something that you would like to repeat. And again, thank you very much for your contributions and for staying with me. See you next week.